Hello, and welcome back to Two Therapists Walk Into a Podcast. I'm Robin Green, LCSW in Tucson, Arizona.
And I'm Stephanie Edsel, an LCSW, joining you from Salt Lake City, Utah.
We are so grateful that you're here. This is Series 10, All the Pendencies, and this is our mini episode. One idea thoughtfully processed.
The idea we're walking you through today is fawning. Specifically, why it is not a flaw, why it never was.
If you've been with us since episode 52, you've already met this concept. If you're joining us here for the first time, hi and welcome. This one stands completely on its own.
Okay, let's go.
Let's take time to pause, just for a second, noticing where you are. Maybe you're sitting, maybe you're moving, maybe you are somewhere in between. Just let yourself be there for a moment and feel whatever is underneath you or around you. The weight of your body somewhere, the temperature of the air, maybe even any sounds that have been there even the whole time. Noticing that. Also paying attention to what brought you with us today. Not to fix it or set it aside, maybe just to acknowledge it. Whatever your mind has been turning over. Whatever your body has been quietly holding. You don't have to arrive here perfect or ready or sorted. Just let yourself be here. This episode might land close to home for some of you. That's okay. You're allowed to be here with whatever comes up. Let's just say it clearly from the top. Fawning is not a flaw, like you mentioned earlier. It's not a character defect. It's not evidence that something is fundamentally wrong with you. It is something you learned, something that you got very good at, and it's made complete sense in the context it was built in.
The story that gets told about fawning, about people-pleasing, about organizing yourself around everyone else, almost always lands on the person doing it as though they are the problem, as though more self-respect or more backbone would have prevented it. That story is not only unhelpful, it's just simply not accurate.
Right. At its core, fawning is a relational orientation. It's the practice act of reading another person, their mood, their needs, the subtle shift in their energy, and calibrating yourself in response. And that can look like softening yourself, adjusting, making yourself smaller or quieter, or more agreeable so the connection stays intact.
And what Deb Dana's work reminds us is that this distinction between fawning and the other responses, it isn't automatic the other way those stress responses manifest and register. It requires a kind of knowing, a reading, if you will, which means it developed over time through relationship, through paying close attention to other people and learning what kept things okay.
Which makes it a skill, a genuinely sophisticated one. The capacity to read a room, to attune to someone else, to even respond to what's needed, maybe even unknowingly. These aren't nothing. The question isn't, why did you really develop this? It's more of what was happening that made this the most reasonable way to be in relationship.
Right. Then there's the cost. Because fawning has one, even when it's invisible from the outside. The person who fawns often looks easy, agreeable. They're the flexible one. Fine, everything's great, no problem. But internally, there's a very different experience. A chronic low hum of vigilance that never fully quiets. It's always tracking, always one step ahead of the next shift in somebody else's mood.
And I think that's something that we don't notice is all of that tracking can be really exhausting. And that can be hard to articulate, when we say, I'm tired. I'm just tired. I think that that's part of that tired. Because it really doesn't look like that. It looks like someone who is always accommodating, like you said, always okay. And then somewhere underneath, they've lost the thread of what they actually feel, maybe, and what they actually want. And what maybe they even actually think when no one else's needs are in the room. I work with some people that it's hard for them to decipher like their own needs and their own preferences. And that's often really where we start with that relationship with the self.
Absolutely. That's what we do all the time is talk about this loss of self. This is huge, especially in certain cultures. It's almost like you're part of the collective. So when people are saying, I don't even know what I like, or I figured out when you gave me this values list, why it was so hard. And I kind of nod my head. Yep, that makes sense. There's always a starting place, though. The difficulty, I think, of locating yourself is one of the quietest costs of fawning, and probably the most significant. You can't come home to yourself if you've been living outside yourself for a long time and or don't even know who that self is.
Oh, I like that. Which is exactly why that noticing matters. And there are two kinds of noticing that do different work.
Yeah. So the first is the in the moment noticing. It's really subtle. It might just be a flicker, maybe a moment where something true almost surfaced and didn't. A moment where your body registered something and you smoothed it over before it could land. A moment where you felt and what you expressed were two different things.
It definitely moves fast, and that pattern is practiced and it doesn't announce itself. So you're not looking for perfect real-time awareness. I think that you're just looking for that small internal signal so you can start to trust, even just a little bit, that gut feeling. That barely perceptible, right? That barely perceptible, like, oh, there it was.
Exactly.
Tuck it away.
Yeah, no, hurry. Shut it down or hide it, right? Because there's the after noticing, which is where something actually begins to shift, because how you hold the recognition really does matter.
We want you to just get curious. What was I protecting in that moment? What did I think would happen if I said the true thing? What did I need that I quietly talked myself out of?
That's so common, right? Holding it with knowledge rather than verdict, not the, I did it again, but there it is. I see it. What was I protecting, or what was it protecting from me?
And guess what? Over time, with repetition, our favorite.
Yeah, it is.
The noticing gets closer to the moment. The gap between the fawn and the recognition gets smaller. And slowly something else becomes possible.
Let's get into what actually is happening in the nervous system, because it adds something important here.
Fawning lives in the social engagement system. the part of the nervous system designed for connection. So this means reading faces, attuning, finding safety in relationship. And what makes it so hard to clock is that it doesn't feel like a stress response. This is the part. It feels like caring. It feels like attunement. It feels like being a good partner or a thoughtful friend.
It totally does. And I think it gets like weaponized and villainized because of that. And attunement is real. That part is genuine. It's just been redirected away from connection and toward management, away from closeness and toward keeping things okay.
And really, the body over time is a baseline of activation that never fully resolves. So not like that acute stress. It's just that low, persistent hum, if you will. So you're always slightly on, always with one ear turned toward the room.
And bodies are not built to run that way indefinitely. The accumulation of that vigilance day after day, relationship after relationship, that's where the depletion comes from. Not one big event, just like that slow drain of never fully being off duty.
Right. So even in relationships that are genuinely safe, even with the people who are trustworthy, the old pattern can still run. Not because, something specifically is wrong or anything. I just think your system doesn't know until it has enough experience. Like, it doesn't know until it knows.
Right. I think we mentioned it in previous episodes. Like when your body is fully committed to a response or like a behavior that is around managing, it makes sense. So again, this is why this specific work takes time.
Yes, I think we need the harp sound right there.
We'll do in editing. But it's true. The gentleness with the self and the process, it is not optional. It's not a nicety. This is actually the most efficient path through. We said that last episode. It's the most precise way to do this.
We wanted to give you something to carry with you, and today it's built around noticing both kinds.
For the in the moment piece, pick one relationship this week, just one, and watch for the flicker, the moment where something true almost surfaced and didn't. You don't have to do anything differently. You're not trying to catch yourself or perform a correction. You're just watching.
Would also love to add that even if you catch it just once, like that's significant. And just notice it.
Yeah. Data collection. It's part of the process.
We do love our data.
Indeed, we do. For after the noticing, when you catch it, give yourself a minute with it. Not to fix it or replay it. Just to ask, what was I protecting there? What did I need that I set aside?
You can take it further if you'd like and write it down or just hold it. The point is to stay in relationship with yourself about it, to bring some of that attention back around towards you and really see how you tolerate it.
Yeah, I like that. Noticing with knowledge, right? That's the practice.
It is. So before we go, something to sit with this week.
When was the last time you said yes and meant no? And what did you tell yourself in that moment to make it okay?
Oof, that's a really good one.
I know, I was just like maybe 5 minutes ago. No. No, but like truly in like relation to life, it's so often I think we miss it actually.
Right? I think just let that follow you a little. See what it shows you.
And next time, we're going into the family blueprint, enmeshment, parentification, and the patterns that got handed to us before we even had words for any of it. It's deep territory, and we're going in carefully, as always.
For sure. Come back for that one. It's going to be a good one.
And remember, healing isn't linear, and we're here for the ride. This podcast is for educational purposes only, and it is not a substitute for therapy, medical care, or professional advice.
Listening to this podcast or this episode does not create a therapeutic, clinical, or professional relationship with us.
If you're experiencing distress, physical symptoms, or emotional concerns that feel overwhelming, we both encourage you to seek support from a qualified healthcare or mental health professional.
And if you are in immediate danger or need urgent support, please contact local emergency services or a crisis line in your area.